continue down the aid model, the number of Africans living on less than $1 a day in the foreseeable future will probably increase from over 70% to 90%, and we'll see many more failed states, many more corrupt governments, civil wars, and so on. If there's one problem with the aid model that I would like you to walk away with today, which is the fundamental problem with these large aid flows going into Africa, it is the fact that it disenfranchises Africans. Africans have no voice. Africans cannot hold their governments accountable. In the United States, if you're not happy with the way your leadership is dealing with a problem or an issue, whether it's healthcare, education, or security or infrastructure, you vote them out of office. In Africa, it means nothing. Many people, and I talk about this in the book, there are many countries in Africa where the presidents have been in power for over 30 years, 40 years. They're propped up by the aid model. They're not going anywhere. They do not deliver anything. The society is becoming worse. To quote my former PhD supervisor, Paul Collier, Africa is shearing off from the rest of the world. So the rest of the world is going in one direction. Africa is going in a completely different direction. And the reason is that many African governments just don't care. They really don't care about what their citizens think. And I go back to the point of no taxation without representation. And until the governments actually desperately their existence relies on taxation, we'll continue to see this cycle of where they don't care and they can just call up donors to get more aid. Let me very quickly go through some of the solutions that I recommend. As I said, I think the fact that you live in the United States probably means that you're very familiar with this, and it might actually seem kind of bizarre that this seems to be such a big controversial notion when it's actually so obvious and such a part of the backbone of the United States. I will say, though, with the free market or capitalistic system under fire, I remind everyone that and I'd like to paraphrase President Obama from his inaugural speech, that despite all the problems and the questioning and the concerns about the capitalistic model, it is still the best model in delivering wealth. And we should not forget that, because it is unprecedented. Now, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't regulate it more, or perhaps be a bit more thoughtful in the manner in which it's being implemented. But let's not throw the proverbial baby out with the bathwater. I think that there are a lot of good things that have happened. And let's not also forget that it's been over 300 years that you've had a system that has worked. And yet, where Africa and aid is concerned, we've had 60 years of poor performance, and nobody's questioning that. Nobody's really saying this thing is not working. I mean, look at how much flack the free market is getting after 18 months of a problem. We've completely forgotten that we've had 300 years of a good system, whereas something like the aid model, nobody seems to care.